Chapter 23. Violet and Sasha meet in a world where the line between reality and fantasy fades away, where silence carries a secret, and every whisper tells a story. Welcome to The Whisper of the Narrator. Here, tales are not just told, they are lived. Souls are reborn through words of mystery and magic, where fear, passion, and destiny intertwine. Every story you hear here will awaken something within you. So listen closely. The whisper begins now. Are you ready to listen? Chapter 23. Violet and Sasha meet. Tell me, Zack, I said to my cat as I walked towards my house. I noticed people's eyes on me. It's like think they've never seen a cat in their life. Even though my cat doesn't speak, I can deduce or imagine what he says. After all, he is a smart cat. Currently, Zack was on my shoulder as he looked around curiously. Meow? Zack meowed curiously. After living so long with my cat, I was able to differentiate his every meow. His being so smart helps a little too. Did Leona treat you well? I asked as I walked. Meow, meow, meow. Translation, she treated me well, but she bathed me. I hate that woman. Oh, I see. I know you don't like to shower, but you can't go without a shower. What if your fur falls out and you go bald like a rat? Meow? Translation, makes sense. See? I know you don't like to shower, but a shower every week isn't too bad, right? I spoke with a smile on my face. I look over my shoulder and see Zack staring at me with a horrified look. He seems to have heard something scary. 3 baths a month? I tried to negotiate. Meow! Translation, 1 bath a month. 2 baths a month. That's not negotiable, I said. Meow! 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 Translation, tyranny. I demand democracy. We live in a free country. Even cats have rights. Sigh. Zack. If you were a quiet cat, I'd agree to a bath a month. But you go out a lot for walks, and when you come home, you're all dirty. I spoke. Meow. Translation. But you're right. Now that I stop to think, what do you do on your walks? I asked curiously, while ignoring people looking at me, open-mouthed, or commenting if I was crazy or not. Meow, meow, meow. Translation, I'm going after the female cats. They love me, even though there are other cats. Oh, didn't you fight for dominance? I asked, while raising an eyebrow. Meow, meow, meow. Translation. Of course I fought. I used that technique called the T-pose that you taught me. Using this technique, I asserted my dominance, and now I have 4 wives. That's my boy, I said laughing as I took him off my shoulder and carried him like a baby while stroking his stomach. Meow, meow. Translation. Kimochi? You are very good at this. Huh? Why did the first word come out in Japanese? Am I imagining it wrong? Looking up into my cat's satisfied face, I shrug like I don't care, then put him on my shoulder again. Arriving at my house, I open the door and enter. I came back and brought Zack with me. I spoke out loud. Meow, meow, meow. Translation. Sup, bitches, I'm home. Zack! I hear my mom screaming as she runs towards me. I see Zack's fur rises, and he quickly jumps off my shoulder and falls to the ground. Then he runs away from my mom. Hey, don't run away from me, Zack! Get back here, right now! My mom yelled as she looked at Zack, who ran up onto the couch. Meow. Translation: never. Ignoring my mom and Zack's banter, I walk towards the basement stealthily. When I first enter the basement, I see what my old basement looks like. But when I put my foot on the first step, I see a little magic circle appearing, and soon the basement changes. Which technology is very useful. Kaguya, what are you doing? Let me kill that bitch. I heard Violet's voice. I'm sorry, Lady Violet, but I can't let you do something you'll regret. Kaguya spoke in a neutral tone. Well, looks like I made it on time. I walked towards the room Sasha was in, and when I open the bedroom door, I see a rather surprising scene. Kaguya was holding Violet on the ground with a jujitsu technique called a rear naked choke. A little far from Kaguya was Natalia, who was just watching everything as usual. Sasha was watching everything with a neutral gaze. Currently, she was sitting on the bed, and beside her was Maria, her personal maid, who was a former hunter. Violet looked quite startling. Her face was distorted with hatred, and she was glaring at Sasha with her red eyes gleaming with killing intent. I realized Violet was trying to use her powers, but Kaguya was smothering her before she could concentrate on using them. As expected from an older vampire, she managed to immobilize Violet easily. I guess it wasn't that easy. Looking more closely, I realized that Kaguya is trying very hard to hold Violet down. Yo, I said with a smile on my face. Suddenly, all the women in the room look at me. My wife Violet's killing intent seems to explode when she sees me. Victor! She didn't call me darling as usual. I look at Kaguya and nod my head, indicating for her to let go of Violet. She looks at me with a face that asked if I was sure. I close my eyes and nod my head as I smile. Violet suddenly jumps towards me, and I realize she's trying to stab me with her hand. Since I'm not ready to feel this pain yet, I take her hand, and as if it's a very elegant dance, I shift her center of gravity, then quickly sit down on the floor and drop her onto my lap. I also realized she wasn't putting that much force into her attack. Violet didn't understand what happened. Well, I seem to still remember the dance lessons I took in the past. This was a long time ago when I attended a multi-billion company CEO's party, as my mom was the CEO's attorney at the time. I had to participate and dance with the CEO's daughter, and because of that, I had to train in classical dance for 2 months. It was the most irritating time in my teenage life. Stopping to think now, that was the same day I found Zack abandoned in the street. I hugged Violet around the waist and spoke into her ear. Calm down. I'm not going to disappear or anything, and you're not going to lose me. So you don't have to attack me out of jealousy. Violet seemed to melt when she felt my embrace and heard my words. I noticed her eyes revert to their normal violet color. And to think that there was someone other than Violet's mother who could calm her down, Natalia commented. I look at Natalia and I see her with a small smile on her face. I could also see Sasha and Kaguya's shocked expressions. "Why are you looking at me like that?" I asked as I started stroking Violet's head. When Violet goes crazy, she only gets calmer when she destroys everything around her. Sasha spoke in a neutral tone. It was like she was used to it. I also noticed that she was looking at Violet with an annoyed look. I noticed that Violet's smile seemed to grow in a distorted way, and she put her face to my chest and started sniffing at me. "Darling, darling, darling, darling." She started talking like she was possessed by some evil spirit or something, although she looked quite adorable now. Suddenly her smile is gone, and she looks at me with a serious look. "Why am I smelling another woman?" "Oh, I went to get Zack from the vet. I found my childhood friend who works at that place," I replied while smiling. When I saw Violet's eyes change to blood red, I cup Violet's cheek in both hands and pull. "Don't think nonsense." "Stop!" she said in a funny voice. I stopped pulling her cheek and kissed her. "Oomph!" She made a funny sound of surprise, but soon she returned my kiss. As we practiced a few times, we were a little more experienced. Suddenly, I feel a burst of murderous intent. I stop kissing Violet and look at Sasha with a smile on my face. "Humph!" She turned her face away in annoyance. This seemed to make Violet satisfied. She smiled lovingly and hugged me possessively. "You know I'll never run away from you, right?" I commented as I stroked Violet's white hair down her back. "Yes, but..." She bit her lip. I made her look at me. I needed to say this. "I don't know about Ruby yet, but Sasha is my wife. I want her close to me." Violet's face distorted in annoyance. I look at Sasha and see that she was a little embarrassed. "What do you think about this?" I asked her opinion. "Me?" She pointed to herself. She didn't seem used to showing affection. I do not know." Suddenly, Kaguya appears beside Sasha and slams her elbow into Sasha's stomach. "Ouch! What are you doing?" Sasha yelled angrily. "Don't be indecisive now. This is about your future." Kaguya spoke in a neutral tone. When Sasha heard Kaguya's words, she was speechless for a moment. I noticed Sasha's face has changed several times. Embarrassed, curious, scared, and a little obsessive. It was quite interesting to see how her face constantly changed. "Bitch, be gone! He's just mine, my darling!" Violet spoke possessively as she hugged me. But she didn't look as pissed off as before. Suddenly, Sasha's face changed. Her eyes turned blood red. And as soon as she looked at Violet, she gets annoyed. Ooh. Her face distorted in anger. "This bitch." Sasha gets up from the bed. Then she uses her speed and appears beside me. She hugs me from behind in a possessive way and says, "He's my husband, bitch." I feel the sensation of two mature Sasha bunnies on my back. Violet looked at Sasha annoyed. Then she hugged me too. As she was sitting on my lap, I could feel Violet's two bunnies, who weren't the same size as Sasha's bunnies, but they were a perfect size. They were neither too small nor too big. They were perfect. Ah, I was in heaven now. Well, that was somehow resolved by Lord Victor. Kaguya spoke with a small smile. "Are you sure?" They look like they could kill each other at any time, Natalia commented as she looked at Sasha and Violet, who were glaring at each other as the two women hugged me possessively. Well, they can't just hold hands and say they'll get along with each other, after all. You know Lady Violet's personality, right? Indeed, Natalia said. This is just the beginning. Lady Violet is angry at Lady Sasha, but she doesn't want to kill Lady Sasha like before. Lady Violet is just acting like a possessive teenager now. Kaguya explained. Then she continued. And Lady Sasha has stopped being stubborn about her feelings and is acting more honestly. That's progress for a woman like her who isn't used to showing affection openly. Natalia nods her head and puts her finger on her face. Then she commented with a small smile on her face. I wonder what will happen when Lady Ruby shows up. Kaguya looked at Natalia with a neutral look. You're having fun with this whole situation, huh? Natalia looked at Kaguya, and she commented with a small smile on her face. Who knows? I could be having fun, or I could just be pretending. Kaguya lets out a small sigh when she sees the blonde maid's attitude. And so, the whisper fades. But the story never truly ends. Each tale hides within it a new beginning. Perhaps even another life waiting to be told. You've been listening to The Whisper of the Narrator. If this journey touched your soul, don't let it end here. Subscribe, stay, and listen again. For the next whisper will be deeper, darker, and more beautiful.